Two monks were on a hike to another monastery. They came across a small river, and on the bank of that river was a lady wearing a kimono. Now, hold on. That doesn't sound like a typical story you hear on our channel, and it isn't. Now, for years, I have propagated my preference for real stories. As many of you know, my definition for stories in business is stories are facts. We wrap them in context and deliver them with emotion. Now, even with the buzz around business storytelling growing, the word story is often attributed or associated with fabrication. We hear people say, "Don't tell me a story, tell me the truth, tell me the fact." Hence, I've always been inclined to stay away from made up stories and focus on real experiences. However, that doesn't mean that made up stories and mythological stories don't have power. Leaders who have gone through our storytelling program know that I've said that if you usually share real stories, then once in a while throwing in a relevant parable is okay. So we have decided to start a new playlist on our website and the YouTube channel where we'll be sharing parables from across the world that you can use to drive home a point even in business. Today, I'm going to share one such parable. Let's start today's story. Two monks were walking from their monastery to one nearby. One was an old, wise monk, and the other a novice, an apprenticed monk. As they walked in silence, they came across a river. Unseasonal rains had caused the river to run a bit high, and on the bank of that river was a young lady wearing a kimono, not sure whether it was safe for her to cross. Now, when she saw the two monks, she looked relieved and said, "Hey, can you please help me cross the river?" The young monk was aghast. He exclaimed, "Don't you see I'm a monk? I took chastity vows. I can have nothing to do with a woman." She smiled and said, "I require nothing from you that would impede your vows, but simply a little help to cross the river." And the young monk said, I will not, I can't. I want to have nothing to do with you." Very embarrassed, he stepped aside. At this point, the elderly monk stepped forward and said, "Ma'am, you can climb on my back and I'll help you cross." Now, on reaching the other bank, the old monk put the lady down. She said, "Thank you." He said, "Welcome." And he started walking towards their destination. But the young apprentice caught up and was very agitated. He said, "How could you do this? This is against our order." During the induction program, every day our teachers reminded us about our vows of chastity. We are not supposed to have anything to do with women. And you are supposed to be my mentor. You are supposed to show me the way. But you're not walking the talk. When I return, I'm going to ask them to change my mentor. This is just not on. The young monk went on and on and on till the gate of the next monastery. On reaching the gate of the next monastery, the old monk paused, looked at the young monk and said, "You know what? You were right. I did carry that lady, but I put her down on the bank of that river. Looks like you're still carrying her." What a story. Where in business can you use this parable? Well, it can be used in many business situations. First, when one is making a point about carrying baggage long past its sell-by date. There are times when we hold on to past experiences and don't realize that it is hampering our ability to move ahead. We sometimes just need to let go of that baggage. The second use case for this parable can be when we are explaining the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. When the young monks' teachers talked about chastity, they didn't mean that monks had to run away from anything that had any woman involved. The young monk obviously misunderstood. The third use case can be when we are trying to tell the team not to lose perspective. I hope you found this parable useful. And if you did, you can find over 100 more stories on our website, www.storyworks.in. The stories are searchable with the business point you want to make. The website and our YouTube channel has 3 playlists. The Story Bank playlist, which has real stories from across the world that you can share to drive home a business point or inspire people to take action. The second playlist is called Leaders Speak. This has videos where leaders have shared stories that have created opinions they have. And the third playlist, which we inaugurate today, is called the Parable Playlist, where we will put powerful parables from across the world that you can use even in business. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Bye for now.